Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We have a 2v2 match today on Hydris Chasm. Hey, finally a new 2v2 map. Well, I mean, I guess it's exciting that we've got a new 2v2 map, but on the other hand, I don't know about this map. I never really liked it in retail. I guess it was partially because of some of the imbalanced units in retail, so let's have a quick look at the map before we talk about the players. This is an extremely laney map. Two natural VPs, literally this close, right? The only access route down here, pretty much, other than going all the way through the mid here and around here and then down. That is quite the detour that leaves you vulnerable to a pincer attack from this side. Now, likewise, on this side, it's super laney. You've got the natural power for both teams. Again, look, they're literally within a screen of one another. And then the VP is chilling there as well. If that's not a laney map, then I don't know what is. Now, you've got this little top bit here where you have a contested power that actually can be quite valuable to lock down. This contested power is a lot harder, I find, to secure because everyone's going to be pushing down this way anyway for the VPs. Whereas up here, the pushing might revolve around this VP, so it gives you time to sneak in this side. So let's see how it plays out anyway in terms of the players dealing with this laney map. It's one of the cool things about the 2v2 maps. You know, we've had a lot of Golgotha depths. And you see there how there's only one natural power farm, and it leads to some interesting high-rec builds. So you do get a lot of unique builds going on. We've got Professor... No. What is this guy called? I don't know. I think it's the dinosaur thing again. Ligt, it's Blood Rain. Ligt, Daniel Grushin, Asmon. So, Chaos Lord, Demon Hunter. Chaos Lord and the Demon Hunter, why are they on the same side? Come on now, guys. Be law-abiding. And a Hive Tyrant and a Farseer. I'm not sure how the Farseer has persuaded the Tyranids to aid her and not eat her, but apparently that's the thing. So, Eldar on this map, very strong historically here. Because it's laney, the setup team spam of Eldar is really rather effective. In retail, it was really quite toxic because of Rangers, which did a lot more damage per hit. Currently in this patch, Rangers are kind of busted as well, so they don't do as much damage per hit as retail, but their DPS is really quite insane, especially against commanders. Guided Banshees in Retreat Path in, nearly able to take out the Demon Hunter, not quite. There's nothing else in Retreat Path. So Lig's going to be getting his interceptors up to help counter all of this stuff. No aspect on the Banshees yet, so they don't have the HP buff, and the result of that is they're going to lose a model straight away. On this side we've got some Noise Marines. Noise Marines can be quite good on this map because, again, the distance to the Gen Farm's not too high. Could sneak them around this way as well, technically, and bash from this side. Though Warriors are naturally a very good counter to the Noise Marines. They just run in and tie them up in melee, big tanky guys. Havocs would be a better counter to the Warriors. Oh, Asmon's going for double ranges as well. Oh, maybe that was an Overwatch mistake. He's getting the Pathfinder gear first. He's still got the Shuriken pistol ranges, not the long rifles. Okay. So far Asmon's doing a pretty damn good job. Might actually consider going for another Ranger squad as well. We'll have to see. He does have the aspect now. He tries a kinetic pulse there, but the interceptors had already wound up their teleport, so they become immune to knockback. And it's going to be an Eldar route on that side. Heretics here, lacking an aspiring champion, and getting very close to dying actually. If only the Hive Tyrant managed to get a couple of pokes in, that could have been a killed squad. These guys do have their aspiring champion, but yeah, they're not going to stick around. We've got Rending Talons now on the Hive Tyrant, able to do a lot of AoE damage to something like Heretics. Any squad with high models is going to really suffer against the seismic roar of the Rending Talons. We did see a nice kill the week there. I hear Noise Marines. Oh, Noise Marine flank. Asmon says 2, but it's not really 2. It's literally just the Noise Marines, which is quite good play actually from Blood Rain. quite good play. Gets the gen bash, because even if he had the Noise Marines here, he probably wouldn't have been able to protect this. With the big tanky Hive Tyrant tying them up. Well, there goes the Seismic Roar, another okay kill the week. Good amount of DPS coming in here. This Hive Tyrant's really a problem though. Now that the Seismic Roar has been used, however, we're in a bit more confidence sending the Heretics in. A bit of a micro mistake here though. He was upgrading to the grenade launchers as he sent them in, so they're in melee for quite a long time there with their grenade launchers, which is not really ideal. And a lot of pressure here from Daniel Grushin, doing really well. Hive Tyrant really asserting his dominance early on. He is a very difficult hero to counter when you go Noise Marines. I can see why Rain would want the Noise Marines buff on this map and also into the late game. Having Blastmaster in these laney maps like this, I mean, from here you'll be able to hit all the way over here. It's going to be really strong, but in the early game, he's going to suffer from it. And he is suffering for having the Noise Marines instead of Havocs for sure. Now, of course, if he did have Havocs, the Hive Tyrant probably would have gone for a different build. He wouldn't have gone for the Warp build, he'd have gone for the Charge Armor. Or he could have got some Raveners. I mean, looking at Daniel Grushin's income at the moment, he's got a really good amount of resources. Probably wants to spend the Wreck to replace some of the gens here. Potential wipe on the Shuriken here. We'll see if there is a global to be used to give these Interceptors more energy. I'm not sure how much energy it costs at the moment for their jump. There was a global, but it was really late actually from Ligt. He could have done that ages ago. Yeah, that should have been a wipe. That was a misplay. And again, just another generator destroyed for one Noise Marine lost is a pretty good deal. Now, it's ironic, the Chaos Lord is actually really rather awful against melee-based armies in Tier 1. Whilst he himself takes a long time to kill, he outputs no damage, and you'll see what Grushin's doing here. You just ignore the Chaos Lord, you just run straight past him and into the ranged units, and he doesn't do anything. In fact, now the Chaos Lord is looking pretty vulnerable to dying on retreat. The Hive Tyrant gets in there as well, might kill him. Ooh. Man, he is so fat. But yes, once the Chaos Lord gets to Tier 2 and he gets access to Lightning Claws of the Blood Maul, his anti-melee capabilities increase substantially. Let the Galaxy Burn as well at close range can be shot down, causing that knockback, and pretty good spike damage can be very helpful. Daniel Grushin really asserting his pressure here, now dropping down a Brood Nest. You'll see how he's keeping the Warriors in play here. They're regenning a little bit faster because they're near the Brood Nest. Brood Nest does give increased regen. Ooh, nasty grenade spike there, combined with the Rune Armor suppression. I always find this ability so insane, the Psychic Storm. Really nice energy economy boost to the Farseer, as well as giving her this beautiful AoE damage ability. Interesting to use it on the Interceptors, but I mean, it did the job right. A suppression into a grenade. Man, it feels like the blue team are getting absolutely wrecked right now, to be honest, but nevertheless, this replay was sent in, so they must have some sort of comeback. I mean, they're not terribly far behind in terms of VPs. As much as Grushin's had his pressure down here, I guess he's focused more on the power and not the VP. I'm not sure. Or maybe Ligt's been doing better against the Farseer with holding the VP. And I guess they did get the Noise Marine Gen Bash over on the Asmon's power farm. So they're not totally behind. Ripper's now coming out of the Capillary Tower. Beautiful, beautiful pressure here from Grushin. And you just see the constant skirmishing on each side. Mind War going down on the strike squad here, going to delay them. And it's going to be a grab blade too. Damn. Interceptors literally just teleported out at the right time to dodge that, but Rangers are hurting them. However, the Interceptors are in retreat path of these Rangers, who are very low. See, looks like they can't get into the correct position. Quite a lucky retreat there for the Rangers going down the bottom. Hive Tyrant has fallen at some point, but the Termagants are being a pain in the ass. I'm not sure if they've got Endless Swarm, so they reinforce 2 at once. But yeah, very hard to kill these guys right now. They've got the HP regen, they're obviously reinforcing off the Brood Nest, needs to try and take out the Brood Nest. Chaos Lord, however, is actually doing quite nice against the Hormagaunts here. A lot of bleed coming in. Doesn't look like Endless Swarm is Hurtius. No, it's not. So that's actually quite bad from Grushin. That's a lot of bleed. He did have quite a surplus of Requisition, to be honest, and Tyranids don't really bleed that much anyway. To be fair, looking at the forces here from Blood Rain, he's probably bleeding just as much himself. I mean, he's dropping CSM, never mind Heretics. So quite brutal. And yeah, finally Ligt is going to send something over to assist. Rain just needs to get out of his base here. Now he does destroy the Brood Nest, and he has a Chaos Dreadnought coming out, so that's going to help him. And this is because Grushin has decided to go tier 3, which is, I don't know, we'll see. He's got a really good eco, and they are ahead in VPs, and he put a lot of pressure, so it feels relatively safe. A little bit odd that he doesn't have the Adrenal Glands on the Warrior Brood here. That seems kind of like an obvious choice right now. What is it, a 75% increase in HP or something absurd like that for 30 power? If you don't want any AV potential, well, any snare potential, then you should definitely get that. Now, we might want a snare against the Dreadnought. In fact, we've got double Dreadnoughts. We've got a Grey Knight Dreadnought here with an Inferno Cannon. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to destroy this gen farm exceedingly fast. But for some reason it's idling right now. IST going to be walking forward, getting caught by a Psychic Storm. Taking a few shots there from the long rifles. Now getting some Acolyte Leaders here on the IST. Not only do the Acolyte Leaders themselves add extra HP to the squad, but they give 20% damage resistance to ranged attacks. So pretty good for shrugging off those long rifles, just generally making the IST trade a lot better and not be bleeding constantly. We do see a Bright Lance here, and okay, now a flank coming over from Daniel Grushin, who has ceded his side because he's got no AV, so he can't deal with the Chaos Dreadnought. So he lets his gen farm go, and he's going to push down this side and apply pressure. Once again, here comes a Brood Nest. Note, there is of course a Bright Lance over here, so there will be something to deal with the Chaos Dreadnought if it decides to flank over. But we're probably not going to see that. This is kind of the problem with walkers in team games. They're very slow compared to transports or tanks, so it's not easy for them to switch sides.
Your allies have claimed a requisition point.
Let's see. So Carnifex is on the way for Daniel Grushin. Asmon is in tier 3 as well. Fire Prisms on this map could be quite devastating. Bright Lance not really set up in a good position here. Drain Life coming in and ripping to pieces that Banshee Exarch. And then the Aspiring Champions get into the range blob of the Eldar. This is a disastrous engagement for Asmon. Really needs to get out of here. The Bright Lance is not even attacking the Chaos Dreadnought. And I don't really know what's going on. There seems to be a flank from the Tyranids here. Oh, we've got Blastmasters at it. They actually missed everything pretty much there. I don't know how they managed that. Should be a wipe on the Hormagaunts though. Seriously, are they going to get out? Oh my god, Rain didn't focus fire them. It can be hard to hit them when they're moving that fast and it's just one model. After playing Company of Heroes 3, where you can click the indicator above the squad to target them, oh my god, that's such a nice quality of life improvement. It's so much harder in Dawn of War when you've got to try and click the individual little tiny model when they're in a big blob of Termagants. And obviously Rain failed at it there, so the Hormagaunts do get out alive. Seer Council now hitting the field. This is now going to be a Grey Knight Hellfire Dreadnought, Plasma Cannon, and what is it, Hurricane Bolter? Yeah, Hurricane Bolter. So it loses all melee capabilities, and if you hit it in melee with anything, it will be unable to shoot for a few seconds, but its range firepower is pretty good. Now bear in mind, Seer Council, whilst they're light infantry, they do have natural resistance against ranged attacks. Wow, going to be slaying the Demon Hunter here quite easily. Does he have that Inferno Glaive? Yeah, he does as well. This is anti-melee / melee superiority weapon there. VPs are actually really good for the blue team right now. 3-0 cap. It looks like Asmon's going to be getting onto that. So basically all the VP lead that came out there from the early game from the red team and their pressure is going to be reversed right now. But that's obviously because red team have opted for tier 3 and getting all these elite units. I assume Asmon used the global to call in the Seer Council faster and for cheaper. And it's going to be a fallen back Carnifex. We also see Spirit Stones coming up in the far seer. That's going to help her heal her little melee blob around her, her Banshees and her Seer Council. Peeve of Zava. I think it's like a beer dinosaur. Beerasaur. It's a portmanteau. I asked Blood Rain about this before because he has such weird names, and it's because they're not actual Russian words. They're fucking portmanteaus, like of beer and dinosaur, and that's why I was getting confused, which makes sense, I guess. So, looks like blue team is pretty much going to be stuck in tier 2, but Grey Knights, I feel like you really don't want to be stuck in tier 2 at all. Chaos, it doesn't feel as bad. I mean, we've got these Plague Marines right now, one of the best AV units in the game. Yes, their DPS is not high, but they're a mobile AV unit that snares. That alone is friggin' amazing. So you can basically keep a permanent snare on a vehicle, and they're so hard to kill, and they do a little bit of anti-infantry damage too, and they support you against melee by removing melee charges and lowering speed of nearby units. I mean, there's just so much goodness there. Hive Tyrant falls, and that's going to cause Synaptic Backlash, which knocks off 10% of the Format Carnifex health, but it's still really healthy. You see, it's got decent regen when it's in combat as well. Blastmaster needs to start firing at the Termagants, not the Rippers. I thought that was going to be a bit of a close call there against the Carnifex. Plague Marines, honestly, probably should have just got in the building here. There's nothing to kill them. I guess there would be a worry of Tyrannoformation, but I know Grushin has been using a lot of brood nests. Currently does not have anywhere near enough red for a Tyranno formation. Can the Interceptors kill the Rangers? No, they can't. Even with the Strike Squad, they don't have enough energy. Maybe they do. What's the energy cost of the jump? I always forget. Maybe they didn't. They didn't do the jump. I felt like if they had the energy, they would have definitely killed that Ranger squad. See just how tanky the Formback is here. Beautiful Blastmaster shot there, though. Killing a shitload of Rippers. Oh, just put the Plague Marines in the building, I dare you. I guess it's really scary. He doesn't know the red that the Tyrannid has. And of course, if the Tyrannid had the red, Tyrannoformation will just insta-kill any building. That's one of the unique traits of it. Insta-kill turrets. Even base turrets and buildings. But wow, look at this. Chaos Dreadnought does have 20% melee resist by default, and with all the other damage that's come in here from Plague Marines and Blastmasters, etc., Chaos Dreadnought finishes off the Carnifex in melee. Who'd have guessed it? So perhaps scope for a bit of a comeback. I mean, things are still looking pretty even in terms of the VPs. Got a bloody mess over here on this side. Oh, a really bloody mess. I don't know when it happened, but the Strike Squad at some point has died from Ligt. Ligt's army looking not very good right now. IST are not going to trade very well. They're just going to bleed loads even with their Acolyte, so that's going to be very concerning for Ligt. It's basically all on Blood Rain right now. I feel like this Blastmaster, in spite of what I was saying about it in Tier 1, how it would be good with scaling, it feels like it's just missed most of the time. Elevation's causing it to overshoot a lot. Like that. Oh wow. Seer Council getting very low on HP there. Lig's not really doing it here with his interceptor jumps. I've got to admit, he's very, very slow. Very slow. Level 3 default Chaos Dreadnought. What have we got here? We're getting a Venom Cannon. Wow. Venom Cannon just to kill this Chaos Dreadnought. I guess the problem is that Grushin doesn't have any other AV. I feel like I'd probably have gone Venom Cannon of the Hive Tyrant, so I didn't have to commit all this. I don't like that Bioplasma as well. As you can see, it basically does no damage to the Dread. Sorry, to the infantry. It's designed only to kill vehicles like the Dread. We're getting to a point now, there's just way too many infantry. Obviously, the double ISC here of Ligt is supporting, currently helping with repairs on the Dreadnought, but just too much anti-infantry firepower here. So you'll notice Grushin's really using his red very liberally here on Rippers, Spore Mines, etc. Ooh, very cheeky gear there. Oh wow. There's the flank. But it's a bit questionable. Oh, he's going for the revive. I see. Okay. Alright. Fair enough. That's actually quite nice. With a gate, the Farsight Global used to get line of sight even though there were no allied troops here. Drops the gate, comes out and revives. Banshees were just a distraction. Cool, and an avatar is on the way. Ligt did get to tier 3. So the blue team have managed to secure this gen farm for a long time now, and Ligt somehow snuck over to tier 3. Obviously, he ceded all of his side to Asmon. He can't contest it. There's nothing he can do. In a straight up fight, he's going to get wrecked. So Bright Lance looking to do some sort of flank here. The Dreadnoughts move forward. I guess right now the Bright Lance can just gen bash. And then it can catch the Dreadnought if it needs to retreat. But obviously there's nothing to protect the Bright Lance right now. These ISC could move down and disrupt it. Avatar of Cain is on the field and going to be moving down to this bottom side of the map. We'll have to see how that fares. And a Land Raider Crusader is the choice for Ligt. Wow, that's... I am shocked. I thought it would be Grey Knight Terminators. They're so good and versatile, but... hey, we'll see how it does. I mean, there's a lot of Eldar infantry roaming around still being problematic. The crazy amount of long-range piercing DPS from the Land Raider Crusader will be helpful against that. Here's an Imperial Abyss on Termagants. Blood Rain really pissed off with the Termagants, it seems. And it pulls in the final model there of that Termagant squad. I don't think Grushin even recognised Zeus as one of his Termagants. I mean, he only cast it on Termagants, so I guess he'll be happy with that. You wouldn't typically want to use a nuke to kill Termagants, but they were a pain in the ass for Blood Rain, and it's less capping power here for Grushin. One of the big weaknesses of the Tyranid roster in the late game is an absence of powerful late game infantry. In fact, it's actually a problem for both of the factions of the red team here. Was that a wipe on a heretic squad? Oh my god, it was. I guess they must have been just out of the damage resistance aura, maybe not. But yeah, either way, they got absolutely annihilated by that Wailing Doom there of the Avatar. So both sides losing infantry, and infantry is important in the late game because you need it to cap. Remember guys, Bane Blades can't cap, Counter Effects can't cap, Avatars can't cap. You need some infantry in the late game. And having these Marine factions for the blue team means they have access to Terminators, which are basically the best quality late game infantry that you can get in Dawn of War 2, whether it's Chaos, Loyalist, or Grey Knight Terminators, they're all amazing. But Venom Cannon Counter Effects here are going to be great to dissuade this Land Raider Crusader, can output some decent DPS at long range against it. Certainly the Avatar can move in and tank things as well. The Melter on the Land Raider Crusader will do a lot to the Avatar. Wow, that Whirling Doom does a lot of damage even in the base, kind of surprising. I'm not sure what the Termagants are doing here. So the guys on the red team right now are literally just base locking their opponents, and they're going to win on VPs. How could they possibly get out? I don't know that they could. Yeah, that's going to be GG. I didn't realize the VPs had actually gone this low. Wow. How long has this game been going on for? I feel like it's only just started. And then the nukes come down from the blue team, but too late. Wow, how did the VPs get that low? I guess, well, they had a triple cap, didn't they? When you go to triple cap against your opponent, that's what happens. Really, kind of felt one-sided in favor of the red team, if I'm being honest. Ligt capitulated in the mid-game against Asmon for sure. But that could very well have been because he was losing all of his bloody energy down here, because in the tier 1, Daniel Grushin was putting on such amazing pressure against Blood Rain. So, I don't know. Maybe too much beer for this dinosaur. That's the game. Tell me what you think about Hydra's Chasm, folks. Hopefully we can get some a little bit more balanced replays in the future on this one. It's an interesting map. Shut up, Land Raider Crusader. I guess it's alright. It's very campy. Oh, they had another gen farm over here as well. Sneaky, sneaky buggers. I did say that at the beginning of the game, didn't I? It's very hard to get anything here because you're going to see it because you're always fighting over the 2 VPs. It's a lot easier to get a sneaky one up here. Can even guard it with this garrison. But there you go. Thanks for tuning in, folks. That's all from your boy Torpid. If you want more of this kind of content, check out the Patreon. There are about 30 different casts up there, all 1v1 and all high level stuff. $5 a month, that's all it requires. Torpid signing out.